So
So
we
did you have anything that we could pull up on YouTube or nah? If not, it's cool. You can just talk about it.
not at the moment. Not at the moment.
Okay. Okay. No problem, my brother.
Nah, I got some stuff in the works, but you gotta protect your creative integrity.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I feel you. I feel you. So yo, man, I'm about to get started. So just if you want to mute your mic real quick, man, you can go ahead and do that, brother.
Okay.
All right. 1 2 1 2. What's good, everybody? I want to welcome y'all to the Oddkast podcast. I'm your host, Gary Gnu, and tonight, we have a special guest on here tonight, guys. This is my Morgan State family, my man Walter Fredericks. He's an accomplished author, screenwriter, television film producer, TV film director. He's a manager of he's got an artist Genevieve who's got a single out right now called So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to put your hands together and welcome to the Oddkast podcast, my man, my family, Walter Fredericks. You can go on and you go ahead and unmute your mic, my brother.
All right, I'm here.
Walt, baby love, what's good? What's good?
Good news. What's good, baby?
Chilling, man. Listen, man, I want to thank you, man, and I appreciate you coming on the Oddkast podcast tonight, man, taking some time to
Absolutely.
chop it up with me, man, and talk about some things, man. But as I was saying earlier, man, I haven't physically seen you, man, since the Morgan days, man. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
man.
What's been up with you, man?
Oh man. Yeah, we talking almost 30 years.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. It seemed like yesterday though, right?
Seemed like, yeah, no question. No question.
Yeah.
Been doing a lot. Really diving into this Hollywood game, the film, television. But I guess I should start from the beginning.
Yeah. We gonna talk about it.
Okay.
I mean,
but got a couple of projects in the works. In the business, they like to say they're in development. Couple of television series, couple of films, and a couple of reality TV shows.
No doubt.
Yeah.
That's what's up. We gonna get into all that, man.
Yeah.
Before we talk about what you're doing currently, man, I always like to take people back, man, to to the early days, man, of before they started in their career, whether it be music or TV or film, whatever it may be.
Right.
Man.
Right.
Where are you from, Walt?
Oh man,
I know
I'm
from.
Harlem, born and raised. Shout out to Harlem. 135th and Lenox Avenue is the origin. Both my parents are from Harlem. My mom's is from 135th and Lenox. My pops is from 117th Street. They were teenage sweethearts back in the late 60s, early 70s, and then I came into the fold. And then a year later, my brother came into the fold. So, my parents, both teenagers with two baby boys. So
you being the oldest?
Yeah, I'm the oldest. Okay. So, two kids just trying to really find a way, through this thing called life, back in the 70s, man. So then we moved a little further downtown, into Spanish Harlem. Shout out to Lakeview, Hunt 6, Hunt 7th and Madison, 5th Avenue, 1590, 4 East, 1250. All my Lakeview fam, y'all know what it is already. And then just trying to make it through life, man. Unfortunately, my parents split up when I was real young. So it was my mom's, raising my brother and I by herself. She worked. So, my brother and I were latchkey kids. We went to school and came home together, and we had the one key to unlock the bottom lock. And when we got home. We had to stay home until my mom's got home. So we had to make sure the homework was done, the house was clean.
Hell yeah.
And we couldn't go out and run around with the kids until she got home from work. And that was life for us. Right. At about 9 is really when I really started to I guess find my niche. I started getting into creative writing. Also got into basketball.
I was going to ask
always,
when did when did love for basketball
around the same time.
Okay.
I've always been athletic, run track. I played football for a little bit, but I didn't like getting hit. so basketball, became my first love. Before anything, before girls, music, it was all about ball. I was that kid that was walking up and down the street bouncing the ball, or I had the ball underneath my arm. Everybody who knew me knew that's what I did. And
so speaking of music, what kind of music what was the soundtrack back then for you, man?
Oh man, Eric B. and Rakim, EPMD, Coogee Rap, leaders of the new school, Tribe.
All right, that was a special time, man.
Yeah, man, that's when no offense to today's music, but for me, that's when music was music.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So you started to develop this love for creative writing, man. So that was a dope story you told to me about the contest that you won.
Yeah. So, when you in school and you come back to school from your summer break, your teachers always give you that assignment. How I spent my summer vacation, and I was the king of that. All right. Could nobody outwrite me in that topic? And my teacher at the time told me, that I had a gift in regards to storytelling, and it could potentially be something that I could do down the line. And growing up, I've always prided myself on not being a 9-to-5 person. And for me, I was either going to go to the NBA or I was going to be in Hollywood somewhere.
All
right. Always had a love for movies. I'm a movie buff. And I could sit in a movie. I'm probably the worst person to go to the movies with, because I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna break it down from a creative eye. Yeah. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna watch it as a fan.
Right.
So I'm gonna, okay, they shot it at that angle. Oh, this edit was wrong.
Yeah.
That's me.
I do the same shit. I mean, everything you're looking at on the screen is through a camera lens, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was always a love of mine. And I was like, I want to be that person. I never wanted to be the person in front of the camera. I wanted to be the dude behind the camera. I wanted to be the director. I wanted to be, the Spike Lee, the Bill Duke. I wanted to be that person. I wanted to have the creative idea and bring it to life for an audience to see. And I write that way.
Right. So back to that assignment, man. In school, you was talking about.
Yeah. So I just, I just get in detail, and for me, it'd be something simple where I may have went away to play in a basketball tournament, but I could write it up like it was a movie.
Right.
You read those books and it's like, it was a wintry, it was the dead of night. The wind was gusting through and leaves flew through the floor. That, like, I write like that.
Yeah, okay. Real visual.
Visual, descriptive. Yes, absolutely.
No doubt. So did you watch a lot of you said you watched a lot of movies. What was like your favorite movies to watch when you
Oh man, everything. The kung fu flicks.
All right. Of course.
Man. I was a big Richard Pryor fan as a kid.
The Toy?
So everything. I watched everything from The Toy to busting loose.
Right. Which way is up?
Which way is up? Stir crazy.
Stir crazy. Word.
Even when he played the preacher in Car Wash. You know, Richard Pryor was my guy.
He was that dude.
Yeah, he was my guy coming up. So, and then the thing I loved about him, because though he acted and everything, a lot of those projects, he wrote the script and he produced a lot of it.
Okay.
So he was the person behind the film as well as being the star. He was one of the first, especially for African American. He was like the godfather of that, you know, because like people like Kevin Hart, Eddie Murphy, you know, do it now, Tyler Perry, but you know, Richard Pryor was doing that in the 70s.
Right. You also can't forget Robert Townsend and Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Yeah, Robert Townsend, Keenan Ivory Wayans, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Word.
Can't forget them at all.
No doubt.
You know, without them, I can't do what I do.
Right. No doubt, man. So the love for basketball, man. You know, talk about you know.
So
how that went.
Basketball is a romance. You know, any true ball player that knows it's a romance. It's a romance with you and the ball. You know, any coach would tell you treat the basketball like your girlfriend, because you don't let anybody take your girl from you. You don't let anybody take the basketball from you. So basketball is a romance with the player and the ball, and then it expands to the other four players on the court, and you become the team, and everybody has a role. Me, I'm an A-type personality, so I'm an alpha dog. So I'm going to assume that leadership role on the court. So I'm going to be that go-to guy. If you need that shot at the end of the game, I'm going to take it. And 80% of the time, I'm going to make it. So being in that environment, it becomes a sanctuary for you. So it's like, no matter what you're going through in your life, that court becomes your safe haven. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, for me, my parents split up when I was young. So not having my father around as much as I would have liked him to, and, you know, the rigors of school, and then just growing up in New York City in the 80s period, you know, with the crack and everything, you know, New York was a dangerous place to grow up in back then.
I can imagine, bro.
You know, you walking down the street and it's bodies on the floor and it's crack vials, and you know, you gotta kind of have tunnel vision not to get caught up in that. So the basketball court, it became my safe haven.
All right. So what position did you play?
It's funny, man, because when I was young, I was like always the tallest dude. So my first real like AAU team was the TS Bucks. Shout out to TS Bucks. The GOAT, Tommy Swinton. Okay. Foster Projects, King Dome. So when I was 12, I started playing with the TS Bucks, and I was the big man. I was the center on the team because I was the tallest. At 12, maybe 5'7", 5'9", but I was big for a 12-year-old. So it's so funny because opposing coaches thought I was lying about my age. So in that day, if you was playing in a league and you were older than the league requirement, they called you a ringer. So they was like, nah, he ain't 12. He's a ringer. But I was. You know, I had the birth certificate to prove it.
They were trying to get you
Yeah. So I was always the tallest. So when I started playing, I was a big man. You know, I was in the post and rebounding and blocking shots and everything. But I was always athletic. So I had some guard skills to me also.
Okay.
And then as I developed, all the cats that I played with that I was taller than, they started to get bigger than me. So then I went from being the center. So when it was time to get to, late junior high school, going into high school, I was a guard. I was a point guard.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So if you think of, you look at today's NBA, you look at Anthony Davis. I was kind of Anthony Davis in reverse because Anthony Davis was really small. He was a point guard, and then he had a growth spurt, and he became a big man. Where me, I guess I grew too soon because then everybody else had the growth spurt and I didn't. So then I became the guard. So from probably 10th grade through college, I was a guard.
Okay. All right. I ain't gonna hold you, man. I mean, I've always been the tallest kid too, man. But I have no ball skills, man. Right now, I'm 6'4", man. You know what I mean? I can't.
Right.
Your daughter could probably beat me, man. You know what I
mean? Nah, my daughter could hoop though.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, my daughter could hoop. My daughter was a 2-sport star in high school, and then she was all of that in college. Track. She was a track star. So now my daughter could hoop.
All right, that's what's up.
Yeah, my daughter Jersey is retired in her high school.
Oh, really? Okay. See,
yeah.
You passed that on. That's in your bloodline, man.
Yeah.
Your pops play ball, or you got ball players in the fam, or?
Just me and my brother. My pops, he was a tennis player. So basketball was just something that my brother and I developed. Just growing up in Harlem, man, going to the rec center, Boys Harbor, Humforth and Madison. Shout out to Boys Harbor. Shout out to Leon Braxton. That was my first coach.
Okay.
My first mentor, who actually put the ball in my hand and showed me what to do.
All right. So what kind of like who was like your favorite player? Like who would you model your game after back?
Oh, Dr. J.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was little Julius.
All right.
Everything he did, I tried to do. I even the way he wore his uniform. Like when I was young, him and Michael Jordan, but more so Dr. J first. Yeah. So I would always want to wear number 6. And he wore his socks up real high. Like I did all of that, just like Dr. J. I had an afro, just like Dr. J.
Wow.
And then when Mike came on the scene, I switched it up. I cut my hair. I had the little Caesar. I had the wristband. I pulled my socks down. I had baggy shorts, and then everything was Mike. And then I was rocking number 23.
Okay.
Yeah, Michael Jordan and Julius Erving are my 2 favorite players of all time.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I mean, those are great guys, man.
Yeah.
I don't really mess with ball like that, but the old school players and stuff, I do know those guys, but like the guys, outside of LeBron and, the big names, I don't really,
I feel you. I feel you.
I mean, but, talk freely as you want to about ball, man. It's tonight.
Oh, man. Like I said,
is your night, brother. You know what I mean?
Just like cats I came up with, we call it the golden era. Yeah. Late 80s, early 90s in New York City, there will never be another era of basketball like that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Every high school, every league, you had D1 players. You know what I'm saying? I've played against Jamal Mashburn, who also was an AAU teammate of mine, Kenny Anderson, the late great Malik Sealy, rest in peace.
I know. Everybody you name and I know.
Yeah, Malik Sealy, Brian Reese, Adrian Autry, Charnel Scott, Jerry McCullough, Terrence Rencher, Ray Lynch, Orlando Antigua. Man, I could go on and on, man.
Yeah.
I played on some, Felipe Lopez. I played on some teams where we could be some college teams. That's how deep we were. Like we were so deep in New York, man. Some of our AAU teams, you had to have an A team and a B team, and even sometimes a C team, because that's how much talent we had. You know what I mean? And then we would travel all over the country and, play against Chris Webber and Jalen Rose and Grant Hill and dudes like that, and give them the business. Chauncey Billups. Playing against these cats. Bobby Hurley, Danny Hurley, Terry DeHare. That St. Anthony's crew from Jersey. These are cats that I went up against. All through high school and then even some in college. So, for me, man, ball was everything. My routine, I got up at 7 a.m, ate breakfast, got dressed, and went on the block and would play ball, man, from 8 a.m. to when it got dark outside.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Serious about it, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Franklin Plaza, Hunt 7th and 3rd Avenue. That's where I played the majority of my time, man. My day ones from Franklin Plaza, we used to get it in. And, we used to go around East Harlem to the different projects, Johnson, Jeff, 1199, Taft, Foster, Washington projects. I mean, we used to go everywhere on the east side, man, and just give people the business.
All right. So when it came time for you to go to college, what kind of schools were you looking at, or what kind of schools
man. So when I went to St. Raymond's in high school. Shout out to St. Raymond's. The Bird's Nest, the Raven's Nest. My brothers, Terrence Rencher, Carl Green, my man Linwood McGreer, Big Lamb, Orlando, T. Rencher, Eric Jones, my man Jamel Thompson, Ty Mushat, Trevor Redfern. I mean, I could go on and on. My man Pocketbook, Emmanuel Richardson, one of the best to ever do it as a coach, still coaching, running the Gauchos right now. With the St. Ray's. My mother actually pulled me out. Just some philosophical differences between her and the school. So middle of my senior year, I left St. Raymond's and went to Louis D. Brandeis. Shout out to Brandeis. 84th in Amsterdam. My man Kenny Archibald. My man Dwayne Kowar. My man Juju, Corey Wright. It's so funny. I'm probably the only dude in New York City history. I went to 2 high schools in my senior year. The year I graduated, the next year, both of those schools won the city championship.
Wow. So what was their record like when you was there?
We was up and coming. You know what I'm saying? We was young. We was on the cusp, and we worked our way up. We took our lumps, but by the time I left and those guys were juniors and seniors, they was giving everybody the business.
It was fine-tuned machines by that time.
Yeah. You think of the Golden State Warriors when Mark Jackson coached. And then Mark Jackson left and Steve Kerr took over and they was ready to take over the league. That's how we were. That's how we were. So, just from playing AAU ball, I got more looks from colleges playing AAU ball than high school because you get a bigger stage. It's a bigger platform.
All right. So what's AAU ball, man?
Oh, the Amateur Athletic Union.
I'm like that with it, bro.
Yeah, the Amateur Athletic Union. So
okay.
AAU ball is summer teams. They're travel teams. You travel to different tournaments all over the country. You play against the best of the best from every state in America.
So if you're on AAU, you nice.
Yes. Yeah, AAU is the best of the best. So you know the movie Top Gun with Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
AAU is like Top Gun for basketball.
Okay.
Yeah. That's probably the best way to describe it in a nutshell.
Got you.
So I got more exposure doing that than in high school. So, I was getting some looks from schools like University of Miami, Florida, Vanderbilt, because I was also a good student. I was an A student.
Okay.
So, schools like Vanderbilt that were athletic, but they had excellent academics. Stanford, UMass, University of Baylor were, some schools that I would receive mail from where there was some interest. I actually was going to the University of Miami in Florida. I was going to the U, and the coach that was there, he got fired. Mm. And Leonard Hamilton, who is now the coach at Florida State, he took over the program. Leonard Hamilton didn't know me from a hole in the ground. So if I would have went to Miami, 9 times out of 10, he may not have played me because he didn't know nothing about me. Hmm. So I basically, and I had my plane ticket and everything ready to go to the school and learn the coach got fired, watch a Sports Center. Wow. And my mom's cashed in my plane ticket, and then I was in limbo for like the whole summer because I didn't know what I was going to do about school.
Where we at year-wise?
This is my senior year in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm a senior in high school. Now I don't have a college to go to. So a local coach who was really good dude, he coached at BMCC. He always liked my game. So he was really good friends with one of the assistant coaches at the University of Rhode Island, Bernard Tomlin. Shout out to Bernard Tomlin. Took a skinny kid from Harlem and brought him to Kingston, Rhode Island. Right. So my guy, he convinced Coach Tomlin to come to New York and watch me play. Okay. And the funny thing about it, and this is exactly why I'm a screenwriter, because the stuff that happens to me, you can't make it up. So they set up a game. It wasn't even a real game. It was like an exhibition game. Like they pulled dudes from college, some high school cats, to create a game just so this man could see me play. Mm-hmm. And the game was going to be at this outdoor park in Queens. Okay. And it rained. So we couldn't play. Okay. So we rescheduled the game for the next day. It rained again. Mm. So he only had one more day back in New York before he had to go back to Rhode Island. So the third day, it rained again. So we was able to get this little teeny gym to play this game in. And I played the game of my life.
I bet you did. Okay.
And he offered me a basketball scholarship right on the spot.
Okay.
And 2 weeks later, I was at the University of Rhode Island, getting ready to play as a freshman, in major Division I basketball. And I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for it. And this is kind of a
mentally wise or skill wise or
no, mentally. Okay. Mentally. And this is something that plagues a lot of kids coming out of New York. A lot of us grow up without that dominant male figure. Mm-hmm. So we lack a lot of guidance. Mm-hmm. And then somebody like me, where I've had stages in my life at 12, 13, 14, with people telling me I'm going to the NBA. You can't tell no 13, 14-year-old kid that.
Right.
Because you not only do you believe it, you think you've already arrived.
You kind of
so if I'm 13 and people are telling me I'm this and I'm that, I don't feel I need to develop my game anymore. You know what I'm saying? All I gotta do is grow up. So when I got to Rhode Island, the coach couldn't tell me nothing. My head coach was Al Skinner. Shout out to Al Skinner. Played in the NBA. It's funny. He played with my favorite player of all time, Dr. J. And I gave that man hell. Because I had a mentality, it was like, you can't tell me nothing. They've been telling me I'm the bomb since I was 13. What you going to teach me? Mm-hmm. And he and I used to go at it. Like we used to almost come to blows in practice.
Wow.
And I was like super defiant when I got there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It was like, if he said the sky was blue, I said, nope, it's yellow. if he told me run this play and make 3 passes before you shoot the ball, as soon as I touch the ball, I'm shooting the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to listen. I didn't have any discipline.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it hurt me. And then I was so caught up in myself. I was like, I don't need this school. I can go somewhere else and play. And that summer of my freshman year, I came home. I had no intention on going back to Rhode Island, even though my mother told me I was going, because her thing was, it's free. You go to school for free, you going there.
Yeah, because school is expensive.
I don't have to pay for it. You're going to take your ass back to school.
Shit. Right?
So I'm like, all right. So I come home, I do my normal, hanging out with my boys. One summer night, we in East Harlem like we normally are. We chilling. You know, we trying to holler at the girls that's walking down the block past us and everything. And you know, we had a situation where a group of kids, you know, they was passing the area we was hanging out in, and one of the kids in their crew and one of my closest friends, they exchanged words, you know. And you know, back in the day, people was getting shot and stabbed if you looked at somebody wrong.
Right. You step on.
You know what I'm saying? Step on a nigga's sneakers. So
you bump into him.
Yeah, you bump into him. So they had an argument because dude said my people looked at him funny. So the argument started with him saying, "Yo, what you looking at?"
Wow.
And my man, Aubrey Lynch, shout out to Big Aub, rest in peace. I'm not looking at you. I'm just chilling. Nah, B, you looking at me. And it started this whole argument. And another kid in dude's crew came up on Aub and he shot him right in front of me.
Damn.
And it was like a movie because everything slowed down. Like I was in a trance. And people are taking off, running, screaming. His brother, my guy, Ray Lynch, shout out to Ray Lynch, he chases after them because they shot his brother. And the police came and it was this huge case. It was a grand jury case, man. You know, the police were able to catch the guy. You know, he got locked up. But I was in such a fog from that. I wasn't even thinking about playing ball, let alone going back to college. So
she was traumatizing, man.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know, I gotta bury my man. You know, he's 19 years old and we gotta bury him and we're not gonna see him no more. So that was rough. That was rough. So like I said, my mother raised my brother and I. So, you know, my pops, like he was in our life, but he wasn't in our life as much as we probably needed him to be. And my mom was like, I can't do nothing because the detectives and the DA, you know, they was talking about what was going to happen with me in this situation. And my mother was like, nah, he's going to live with his father. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And she was like, yes, you are. And probably 2 days later, my pops, because he was living in Maryland at the time, he still lives in Maryland. He came to New York and he came and got me. And I drive to Maryland and my brother, he made like a highlight tape of me when I was at Rhode Island. And he gave it to my pops. So my pops was shopping his highlight tapes at every school in the DMV.
That's what's up.
Georgetown, Maryland, Towson, Coppin, George Washington, everywhere. And
but if you said like you said that your pops wasn't in your life, but it sounds like now he's making up for it right now.
Yeah, no doubt. So, you know, he's trying to he was my PR person, and he was trying to get, John Thompson and Mike Jarvis and all these coaches to take a shot on his son.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have no takers. So Morgan was the very last school we went to. And at this stage, I'm like, I'm not going to school here. I'm going back to New York. And we go to the admissions office. Mr. Gomes, who was part of the admissions department, him and my father were close. So Mr. Gomes looked out and he admitted me into the school, even though they weren't really accepting anybody because school was about to start in like 10 days.
You passed late registration.
I was beyond late registration. So he was able to pull some strings for me. So I still really wasn't like feeling it. And coming out of Mr. Gomes' office, I hear his voice. Yo, Walt. I'm like, who the hell know me in Maryland? And I look up, and it's my man A. Shout out to Dre. Shout out to my boy Andres Torriente.
Yeah. Shout out to Dre.
We call him Andy on the block. Right. He was like, yo, what's good? I'm like, my pops is trying to get me to school. He's like, yo, you need to go here, B. I'm here. So that's all I needed. Because me and A, we go back. I've known him since I was 5.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So to have him, that made it easy for me to go to Morgan.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then, I get to Morgan and then Walt Baby Love was created.
Definitely, man.
Oh, man.
Those is fun times, man. So did you try for the basketball team at Morgan, or
it's funny, man?
Still pursuing ball there, or?
I didn't try out. They pursued me.
Okay.
So word got around on campus that I could hoop. So we used to just play for fun. Remember the little cage that was in the back of Blount?
The back of Blount. And also y'all had the little summer league or a little
rec had the league. Little summer league, the little rec league, right?
Yeah.
But it was the games in the cage in the back of Blount.
Yeah.
Where the coaches started getting wind of me. So I remember I was walking on campus. I think I was coming out of the library because the library is right next to the gym.
Right.
And the assistant coach, I remember his name. He was like, yo, we need you to come to practice. I'm like, for what? He's like, to play. I'm like, nah, I'm good, because I was still kind of in a fog. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't really want to play. And I kept it pushing. And then we played in that little league, the little intramural league.
Yeah.
And the head coach came to intramural
to
man, see me play. Huh?
I said, you was the man, son.
I was trying, man. I was trying. I didn't have it mentally, but I still had it physically. So
yeah.
And the head coach came, and he convinced me to come play on the team, man. And I would practice and everything. I was a transfer student, so I couldn't play. You have to, because that was the NCAA rule. If you transfer from one D1 school to another, you have to sit out a year. So I was practicing, but I couldn't travel with the team and I couldn't play.
Okay.
So that kind of killed it for me, because I got to sit there on the bench in street clothes and I got to watch.
Oh, and I got to do clothes too? Damn.
Yeah. You can't dress or nothing.
You can't even wear the uniform.
You could practice, but you cannot play. You cannot dress.
What about scholarship though?
Yeah, they was paying for me to go.
Oh, okay.
But I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. So I thanked them for the opportunity, and I walked away.
I mean, was that because of the incident that happened with your man? Like your mind,
mind
wasn't there.
Yeah, my mind wasn't there, and then having to sit out where, like I told you, when I was young, basketball was my safe haven. And with that happening to him, I didn't even have my safe haven anymore because I couldn't play.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, I'm like Allen Iverson. You talk about practice. I don't want to practice. I want to play.
Right.
So I just decided to just be a student. And it was refreshing for me because, like I said earlier, I have been playing ball since I was 9. So from the age of 9 up until 18, I was like a robot. All I did was play ball. So I never really knew what it was to be a kid. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go to my high school prom. I didn't get to do stuff like normal kids do because I went to school and I played ball. So, and then Morgan, Rhode Island, let me backtrack. Rhode Island is a predominantly white school.
Okay.
So I'm a kid from Harlem and I'm going to school with a bunch of people that don't look like me, don't talk like me, except dudes on the basketball team. You know, but I would take some classes and it's 300 students in the class in the auditorium and it's 2 African-American students.
Wow.
So going to Morgan, which is a HBCU, it opened the floodgates for me because now I could be a kid. I could go to parties.
Yeah.
And then everybody looked like me.
Yeah. And
then we're not even going to talk about the young ladies that were there because I didn't have that. Right. So I was like a kid. I was like a kid in a candy store.
No doubt.
You know, so that just changed my whole mindset about life because I got to experience a lot, you know, and it was, you know, Morgan was, you know, some of the best times in my life.
Yeah, mine too, man. Mine too.
You know, just like, you know, talking to you, it's, you know, people I met at Morgan, I still vibe with to this day.
Man, my mother told me, man, growing up, man, she said that the friends that you meet in college are the friends that you
meet in life. Yeah, it's crazy, you know.
Yeah.
It's nuts. It's nuts to the relationships I still have with people from that school, man. It's crazy.
No doubt, man. Yeah. So in the process, man, we were talking about earlier, man. You and Dre started this organization amongst your peers called FAM.
You know yeah, man.
It was something I was a part of.
Yes, sir. And, forthcoming artistic males.
Yes, sir, man.
Yeah.
Talk about that because, you know, as I said, you know, we were 18 years old, man.
Yeah, man.
And you know, FAM, I know you guys would, you know, when you know, just tell the people about it. I ain't going to.
All right, so you go to college, you know, especially HBCUs. You know, the fraternities and sororities are huge.
Yes.
So
it's like school days.
Yeah. So none of us really had any intention on pledging anything. No.
But I had like speakers approach me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm about to say, but all of the majors, they was recruiting us. You know what I mean? But we really didn't have the intention on doing that. So for Dre and I, the Kappas were on us pretty heavy. Joe Claire, shout out to Joe Claire.
All right.
So, you know, they were trying to get us to come to their mixers and things like that. So Joe Claire threw a party at a club in Baltimore. The name slips my mind at the moment. So we, you know, we all go in there. We 30 deep in the club. And shout out my man Errol, E-File, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Errol.
He's dancing with a young lady, and something transpires with him and another cat, and you know, dude wanted to bring it to E, and E came and got us, and a full blown brawl breaks out in the club. So we gotta, you know, we vacating the club, and hauling ass back on campus, and it was Joe Claire's party, and he basically wasn't messing with us no more.
Yeah,
so
that did it.
So Dre and I, we was in the room with a whole group of us, like, yo, let's start our own thing. So, our RA at the time, he was super cool. He helped us develop FAM. He gave us the guideline. Okay, this is what y'all need to do. These are the rules you got to follow, the do's, the don'ts, et cetera, et cetera. So he really helped us cultivate it. We just needed to come up with a name. We had to have colors to represent our organization.
Right.
Which were and we was gonna be able to,
right?
Yeah, black, purple, and green.
Black, purple, and green.
And we was gonna get our bench on the yard and the whole nine, and we had to be on our best behavior and everything. And we was doing real well. We created our little T-shirts and everything. Everybody had T-shirts with.
I still got mine.
Yeah, with their names on the back.
Word.
And we had that one fatal moment that will live on in Morgan State history.
Yeah.
Where we had the infamous fight. It was really a brawl in the refectory.
Yeah, with the wrestling.
Like people talk about the Malice at the Palace with Detroit and Indiana. That was us. So how it started was, you live in Blount, which is a co-ed dorm.
Yep.
And the male floors are the odd number floors, and the female floors are the even number. And you could go on the floor of the opposite sex, but at a certain cutoff time, everybody got to bounce.
It's a curfew.
And somebody pulled the smoke alarm or the fire alarm or something.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was always some shit going on in Blount.
Always something in Blount, man. So if you were stuck on a female floor, like, you had to hide. So, and I want to, so funny, because I want to say it was Errol again.
Really?
So I think it was. If I'm not mistaken, Errol was in a room with a girl, and her, I guess, boyfriend found out.
Mm-hmm.
So he threatening Errol, and they calling all of our rooms, because we all lived on the 5th floor. Yep. So he's calling every room on the 5th floor, threatening us, and we're gonna see y'all New York dudes, blah blah blah. So it's like, all right.
So where was he from?
I don't remember, but he was on the wrestling team, which I didn't find out until the next day. So he's calling every room on the 5th floor, looking for us, threatening us. You better not come out your room, like all this crazy stuff. So we like, whatever. So we like, yo, nobody go to breakfast alone. We gonna all go deep. Mm-hmm. So we hoodied and timmed up, going to the refectory. And shout out to Pooh. Shout out to Pooh Dollars.
Pooh Dollars.
He was the first of us to walk into the refectory to check in. And one of the wrestling dudes rushed him. And it was an all-out brawl. Like, we was throwing each other into the salad bar.
Heard about it, man. I wasn't there.
I got hit in the head with a wet floor sign. It was nuts.
Oh,
man.
But the wrestling team, though, man.
But it was a wrestling team, so they was
these ain't no regular guys. These ain't no regular. They was
on. We trying to throw hands. They want to wrestle. So it was a mess, right? So we got everybody. Because somebody called the police. So we got everybody. We hauled out. Everybody ran back to the dorm. We all on the low. Nobody's leaving the room. Nothing. And I remember walking to class one day, and there were detectives on campus.
Really?
Yeah. And one student, is a female, she was talking to one of the detectives and she pointed me out.
Oh, straight ratted on you, son.
Yeah, she was like, he's one of them.
Damn.
So
wow.
I had to talk to the detective, and then they pointed out a bunch of the rest of us, and the school basically suspended us all. Me, Pooh, Errol, Dre, Ski, everybody from our crew.
Shout out to all those guys, man.
Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the whole fam.
The whole fam.
We all got suspended, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is towards the end of the semester. So we all go home. So then we got notification that they were going to do a hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And we all had to come back to school because I remember me, Dre, Errol, I think Ski was with us because we all drove down to Maryland together from New York.
Okay.
And we had the hearing, and then they made their final decision. Some of us, they let us come back to school. Some of us, they didn't. So it's basically like they thought the best thing to do was to break us up.
Mm.
So they broke us up. Some cats got kicked out, couldn't come back. Some of us got to stay. But then it just changed everything because obviously we couldn't get the organization going because they wasn't going to approve us.
Yeah.
So that was kind of not the demise of us, but everybody kind of went their separate ways. You know, a lot of cats moved off campus. You know, some of us stayed on campus. So we really didn't spend as much time with each other like we used to.
Yeah.
You know, and then people got involved in different things. You know, you met a young lady you liked, you spent most of your time with her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that happened to me. You know, that's how my daughter was born. You know, and everybody kind of went their separate ways, man. But we will always have that, and it can never be taken from us, man. And I think it's dope because they still talk about us to this day.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? There's kids that walk on that Morgan campus that weren't even born when we were there, and they know about us.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So that legacy we created, it will never go away. And it's trends that we started that they still do. Like, you know, we used to get dressed up for everybody's birthday.
Yep.
They still they do that to this day.
Mm.
We started that.
That was dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
You know, we started that. And then, you know, the whole bridgeology thing, and you know, we had the little dice game in the dorms, and you know, we was doing it, man.
Yeah.
We was doing it.
Yeah.
We was doing it.
Yeah, those were fun times, man.
Yeah, man. Like I said, some of the best times of my life, man, and some of the best people that I've met in life.
You learn so much, man. Like you come back when you come back home, you're just a different person, man.
Absolutely.
Know, if you get what you're supposed to get out of college.
Yeah. Absolutely.
For real.
Absolutely.
Word, man. So after Morgan, you didn't because after a while you left. Like you didn't stay long.
Nah, I left. I left spring semester of '93. I still had 1 year left of school, but I didn't graduate from Morgan, so I left. My daughter was about to be born, so her mother and I, you know, we lived in the same city and we raised our child.
Okay.
And then they moved back to Maryland. My daughter and her mother. I moved to Atlanta. So I'm living in Atlanta. They're living in Maryland, you know, but I'm coming up to Maryland, you know, to see my daughter and everything. And, you know, my daughter's coming to Atlanta to see me. And then that's when I guess the writing bug came back from when I was 9.
Okay. And
because
school, what was your major in school? You know what I mean?
Psychology. I was a psych major.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny because I was like a math whiz.
Really? Okay.
And my father wanted me to major in economics because I knew numbers and I knew money.
See, not to cut you off, but it's very rare, like, you know, to find it, like you mentioned academics, like, you know, to be an athlete and also be smart at the same time. That's kind of,
Yeah.
Not
I graduated from high school, man. I graduated 4th in my class.
Okay, that's what's up, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you had the valedictorian and then the second person, and then I was top 4 in my class.
Okay.
3,000 people. I was top 4.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So you got some intelligence.
Yeah. I'd like to think so.
No doubt.
So
so the writing
my
bug
pops
came.
wanted me to, huh?
I said no. You said so the writing bug came in Atlanta.
Yeah. So the writing bug came while I was in Atlanta, and that's when I started writing my book. And then I came home to New York. I finished the book, but I had no idea what I wanted to do with it. So, unbeknownst to me,
what was it called?
My mother.
What was it
about? My book, My Brother's Keeper.
Okay.
Yeah, My Brother's Keeper. It's available on every literary platform, from Amazon to Nook Books to eBooks. It's everywhere.
All right, I gotta check.
So, unbeknownst to me, my mother read my manuscript, and she never told me. So my sister, she was like, Mommy read your book. I'm like, really? Because I had sex and, profanity. You don't want your mother knowing that you think like that.
Yeah, those are your thoughts.
Yeah. So I was kind of embarrassed, like, for real?
Oh, shit.
So I asked her, I'm like, Ma, you read that? She's like, yeah, it was really good. I was like, oh, so that blew my mind.
Yeah.
So my mother liked my book. Oh, I got something. So I had no idea on how the book game ran. So I went to Kinko's in the middle of the night, and I printed out little booklets of my manuscript. And I was going up and down Fifth Avenue in Manhattan to every major publisher in the country, Simon and Schuster, all of them. Hey, publish this. And they're looking at me like, who are you? I'm him. I'm the guy on the cover. Who are you represented by? I'm represented by me. This is a good book. Publish it. And they were like, nah, that's not how it works. You got to get you a literary agent. And how you get one of those? The same way you found us. You got to look it up, do some research. And I did some research, and it's harder to get a literary agent than it is to get a publishing deal.
Why is that?
Because it's so weird in the business, and this is even in Hollywood. Your agent, they work for you. It's their job to push you to the corporations. Agents want you to basically audition for you to represent them. So I'm like, hold up.
Audition
So I gotta do a song and dance for you to work for me. So I wasn't feeling that. So I was like, nah, I'm not going that route. So I did some research, and I learned how to self-publish my book. So I self-published my book. I designed my own cover, everything. I did everything in my book is all me, from the type of paper that I picked, the font that I used. My book cover is the building in Spanish Harlem that I grew up in, because I went across the street to the projects. Shout out to Lehman Projects. And I went on the roof and took a picture of my building from the roof of a building across the street. And I made that my book cover.
Okay.
And I self-promoted my book, and I set up my own book signings and everything. And I've had book signings in New York, Atlanta, Maryland, and Arizona. And every book signing I've ever done, I sold out. Every single one.
Okay, that's what's up. It's very entrepreneurial, my brother.
Yeah. So doing that, and then the people who were reading my book were like, man, you have something, man. The way you write is visual. You ever thought about screenwriting? And I said, yeah, because I love movies. I've always wanted to write a movie. And I started doing that. And I taught myself how to write screenplays.
Okay.
You know, I never had any formal training. I didn't go to film school or anything like that. I taught myself, and I learned the different softwares that are what are called industry standard. And I started writing screenplays. And you know, got some buzz from my writing. You know, have been able to meet some fantastic people throughout this journey that I started in 2002.
Okay.
Who, you know, recognize my literary ability, and you know, there've been some great opportunities on the horizon for me. You know, I've had some opportunities to put myself in a position to, you know, write for some fantastic projects that are out there. But the more rewarding side of it is I've created my own lane. You know, so the projects that I'm involved in right now, they're all independent, you know, and they're all cultivated and developed by me and the people that are part of my team.
All right.
And you know, we're getting those looks from the Netflix and the Amazons and the Apple TVs and the HBOs and the Showtimes and NBA TV. I'm getting those looks, and I still don't have an agent.
All right. So talk about After the League, man. I see you got the paraphernalia in the back.
Yes, sir.
In the back.
Yes, sir.
And you know, I've seen for a while you've been promoting this on your IG page and all that.
Yes.
Shit. You know, tell the
people. So After the League, it started as a concept for a reality television show. Okay. So if you go back to, like I was saying earlier, being a ball player, After the League was birthed from Basketball Wives, ironically. And what I mean is, Basketball Wives was really starting to hit its stride on reality TV. And there was a segment where Tammy Roman was discussing her relationship with her then husband, Kenny Anderson. Shout out to Kenny Anderson, okay, New York City's finest. And she was really kind of throwing Kenny under the bus. Okay. And knowing Kenny personally. Yeah. But this one was different because, you know, I know Kenny personally. Okay. So my brother, he calls me, and I'm living in Phoenix, Arizona at the time. Okay. And he's like, yo, you watching Basketball Wives? I'm like, nah. So I turn it on and I see it, and he and I are on the phone, and he's like, yo, these chicks is bugging, you know, they saying all this stuff about these dudes. He said, yo, somebody need to come up with a project to give these ball players a platform to do their own thing. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna call you back. Jumped on the computer, man, and typed up a treatment, and I sent it to him. I said, check your email. He's like, yo, this is dope. I said, you asked for a platform. It's right here. And he's like, yo, what you gonna do with it? I'm gonna make a TV show. I said, you wanna help me? He's like, that's what you do. I don't know how to do that. What am I gonna do? Help me produce it. So we started to cultivate it. I brought my man Ray Lynch. Shout out to Ray Lynch. Brought Ray Lynch in, and we started to build. And we used our connections in the basketball world to get in front of some ball players. You know, the very first person we spoke to pitch the show to was Mark Jackson. Shout out to Mark Jackson.
Shout out to Mark Jackson. Okay.
And he was interested. Like, he was 100% on board. He couldn't do the show because that's when he got the Golden State Warriors job. And the team would not permit him to do that type of content while he was working for the organization. So we just kept building it, man. And we done talked to everybody from Walter Berry to World Be Free, Stacey Augman, Vernon Maxwell, Alex English, Junior Bridgman, Dikembe Mutombo, Steve Francis, Mike Sweetney, Patrick Ewing Jr., Chris Whitney, Tyrone Grant, man. Like, we've put this in front of everybody. And what it's done for us is it's gone from us developing a reality show after the league is a movement now. You know, because then we do the clothing line. So I spearhead the clothing line. As you can see, it's all I rep.
Yeah, and you got jackets and hats, and
I got jackets, hats, I got socks. You know, I'm designing a shoe. We got pens and book bags and laptop bags. We got it all, man. I got slides, you know, little flip flops you wear.
Right.
You know, and it's a movement now. And now, you know, it's a full blown multimedia company because we do television production, not just reality show. You know, I have some other projects, you know, with my partners in the works that's going to come to life, not just a reality show. You know what I mean? We have a sports management company we're developing where we're mentoring young men from junior high school into high school and from high school into college to really teach them the ins and outs about basketball and the business of basketball. Because you go back to what I was saying about my transition from high school to Rhode Island, where I wasn't mentally prepared. I didn't have that guidance.
Right.
So we're going to give these young men that guidance. And then
they need it.
And then with the relationships that I have in the basketball world, you know, some of my closest friends and high school teammates and AAU teammates, they coaches at some of the top programs in America.
All right. So
I could develop a kid and I can make a phone call and be like, yo, I got a kid in Atlanta. He's nice. Come take a look at him. You know? And the one thing we also do is we make it a point to build a great relationship with their parents, because that's their foundation.
Yeah.
You know, you build a relationship with the parents so that they don't think you're trying to game them. Yeah, nah, ma'am, sir, I've been where your son is. You know, you want to go to Illinois? I know the assistant coach at Illinois. You want to go to Creighton? I know the assistant coach at Creighton. I know the associate head coach at Syracuse. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we have that lane, we have that avenue. So yeah, after the league is a movement, you know, television, film, clothes, mentors, sports management, you know, philanthropy. You know, it's like I said, it's a movement. It's a movement. It's a hashtag.
Right. And speaking of that, I watched the trailer that you sent me, man, and it was interesting because just to see what players do after the league. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
like you and I were talking about.
Yes.
You know, these guys are not used to becoming regular citizens in society. Yes. after the fame and the fortune of being in the NBA. You know what I mean? Talk about that real quick, man.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Getting to know some of these ball players, they're human. You know, we had the unfortunate occurrence yesterday where Tiger Woods got into a car accident.
Yes.
And everybody was kind of losing their mind because they automatically equated that to what happened to Kobe Bryant. Shout out to Kobe Bryant, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
So everybody thought this was that. But one thing that I appreciated that some of his counterparts said, it's not about Tiger Woods, the golfer. It's about Tiger Woods, the person, the human, the father.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
And that's what we've been able to learn about the ball players that we've been involved with after the league. They human. You know, they got to take out the trash just like we do. You know, I remember I would come home from a game and be like, Ma, I had 40 today. Oh, okay. Take out the trash. Wash the dishes. You know what I'm saying? And that's what these dudes are. Like, I remember us talking to a dude, and he talked about when he retired, he didn't know how to take out the trash. You know, you got trash day on your block or in your cul-de-sac, and he would try to take out the trash the day of trash day. And he would always miss the truck.
Not knowing he had to the night before, son.
Exactly. He had to realize, I got to put this out the night before. You know, or dudes that were used to somebody else making their schedule, somebody else tying their shoes for them, giving them a towel, giving them something to drink. Those are things they got to fend for themselves. And then some cats were like me when I was a kid. I would just play ball. And they had nothing to fall back on. You know, but we're fortunate because we have a plethora of ball players that are at each side of the spectrum. You know, you have a Junior Bridgman who has been extremely successful after his playing days, where he's an entrepreneur and he's got fast food franchises and things of that nature. And then we've got dudes who have won NBA championships and borderline Hall of Famers. They may not have two nickels to rub together.
Yeah, a lot of guys are broke.
Yeah, but you get those types of people in the same room together, and it becomes each one teach one.
That's true too.
Yeah, so you know that's where we are. You know, we just want to give them a platform, you know, with the right television or streaming home, so that the world can see they just regular dudes like us. You know, any sports fan, you watch the NBA and the buzzer sounds and the game is over. And then that telecast is over. You know, they all give each other love and head for the locker room. You don't get to see what they do when they leave the arena.
Right.
But after the league is going to give you that access. It's going to give you that access. It's going to give you that, oh, that's the city he lives in. Oh, that's the kind of car he drives. Oh, that's the kind of business he has. Oh, I see him wear that T-shirt every time he has a press conference. Now I see why he wears that T-shirt. Or that hat, or that wristband. That's what after the league is going to give you. And then we expand upon it, and we don't do just basketball. We go to football, baseball, boxing, tennis, golf, everything. It's going to become global.
That's what's up, man. And where can people get the merch if they're interested?
If you're interested in any of the After the League merchandise, you can go to www.aftertheleague.net. not .com, .org, .net, because we ball players, nothing but net.
I like that. I like that, man.
And then you can hit me up on my IG at Walter WALTER _ Fredericks FREDERICKS. That's my IG. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, and everything, but I'm on IG the most.
Yeah, me too, man. So when can the people expect to catch a glimpse of or see more of this project and this movement that you got going on?
Oh man, I would say this summer.
Okay.
This summer, I'm actually in the middle of a deal to do a television pilot.
Okay.
That we've got some networks and some streaming entities that are looking for it. So we're really in a good space because we're going to be able to have, kind of a bidding war. And this project, it's a television series, it's a drama. This one's going to change the game. If people thought, Power or Snowfall, which are two shows that I watched, this is gonna take you to a whole nother level in regards to storyline, backstories, and things that are going on in our world today, from politics to sex trafficking to the pandemic, religion. Yeah, we touch on everything.
Right. Okay.
We touch on everything. This project is going to allow people to see how intricate the White House is in the dope game or sex trafficking or whatever, and vice versa. Not to give away too much, but yeah, it's gonna be bananas.
It sounds exciting, man. It sounds exciting, man. To the up and coming screenwriters and directors and authors, what kind of advice would you give to a youngin trying to do the same thing you doing, bro?
Believe. Believe. If you don't believe, you can't get it done. Because if you don't believe in yourself, how can you have anyone believe in you?
No doubt.
You got to put the work in, but you have to believe in it. You have to become it. You have to live, eat, breathe, sleep, talk, wear it. If you don't take that approach, it's going to be hard for you. You have to believe.
So how does one, go from, concept, putting it on paper to actually being able to take this and present it to a network? You know what I mean?
It's relationships. Because everything in life is
it ain't overnight. I mean, so when you say
not at all.
It's like, okay.
Success is a combination of timing and opportunity.
Right. No doubt.
And when the opportunity and the timing meet, you have to be ready. So you have to prepare yourself for that moment, because you don't know when that moment is going to come. Right. But you have to prepare yourself, and you have to live every day like today is that moment. You have to.
All right.
So that when it comes, you're already prepared.
No doubt.
But it's relationships. You have to, once you put yourself in a position where you have something tangible to present, you have to start developing those relationships. And you have to become your own salesman.
No doubt.
And then just continue to cultivate your craft. I'm a ball player, so you play the way you practice. So in order for me to put myself in a position to get a Division I scholarship, I had to practice. I had to go out every day into the hood and in the rain and in the snow and shoot. And like I said, be out in the park from 8 o'clock in the morning on a hot ass summer day until the street lights went out.
Mm.
And then when we finished playing and we went home and ate and took a shower and came back outside and was on the block, we spent the rest of the night talking about ball.
Right.
You gotta believe in it. You gotta put the work in. You have to.
No doubt, that's a fact. When you were talking, Walt, you know what popped in my mind, man? Something that I learned from you a long time ago, and you may not remember, but the phrase "to be on time is to be late,"
Yeah.
and to be
To
early is
be
to be on time, and to be on time is to be late.
it's to be before time.
Okay.
To be before time is to be on time, and to be on time is to be late.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That was something
Still
that
live by it.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I learned that from you, man. So
Yes.
salute to you for
Appreciate
like
that.
embedding that in my brain.
Yes.
Where'd you learn that from, man?
I read it somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I read it somewhere. I'm a historian.
Okay.
My guy Ray Lynch, he calls me the almanac because anything that needs to be researched, I'ma find it.
All right.
So
That's what's up, man.
I read it somewhere and it stuck because that's always been me. Playing ball. You be one of the first people in the gym and be one of the last people to leave.
Mm.
Going to school, having a 9 to 5. If you work from 9 to 5, I'm in the office at 8:30.
Mm.
Because those are habits that you create. And like I tell people all the time, if you have a job that pays you $15 an hour and you can't handle that, how do you expect to be able to handle $15 million?
Money make you go crazy, man.
Yeah, but you can't handle $15. How are you going to put yourself in a position to handle that?
Well, that's why a lot of those
And
guys, when they get that money, they blow it.
yes,
They don't know what to do with it.
nope, and they don't have the right people around them.
Yep.
You got yes men and people in your pocket, people guilt tripping you. Oh man, remember when I gave you that cheeseburger when you was hungry?
Yeah, people from your neighborhood that's from the same
Yeah,
surroundings, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Not that you got to cut those guys off, but
Yeah, you got people trying to cash in a favor and they want 20 grand and that favor wasn't even worth 20 grand.
right. No
But
doubt.
yeah, you do. You gotta put the work in. You gotta put the work in.
I feel that, man. So you have any other projects that you got that you have coming down the pipeline or
Oh man. Yeah, we got the TV pilot. I got 2 movies that are in development right now.
oh yeah, I saw the clip that you sent me. Oh my God, Clearance.
Yeah, that's the TV series though.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the TV series. But now I got two movies, 2 screenplays that are completed that are we got them in development right now. I can't really speak on them too much. I have another TV series that I just wrote that we're shopping around to some people. Trying to think what else, man. Ooh. I've been working on another book for like 10 years.
And you're also managing. You also got an artist.
Yeah, and I got my artist, Genevieve. Genevieve is out of Harlem, R&B singer. She's dope. She's on. You go on any platform, Apple Music, Spotify. She's on there. She's got a single out. It's called "You Know."
Yeah, I went.
We in the middle of we in the middle of recording her EP. Title right now is called G Spot. nah, she's dope. Aspiring actress. So
Okay.
any project I do, her music is gonna be featured.
Mm. Okay.
So but nah, she's dope. She's got a great voice. She's got a great look. Um,
Okay.
you
Have
can
to have her on the podcast, man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We definitely bring her on here. Shout out to Genevieve. She's in Vegas right now, but yeah, that's my girl right there. So yeah, she's dope. She's about to be a star.
All right.
She's a star right now, but the world is about to know what I already know.
All right. That's what's up, man. And you living in LA now, right?
Yeah, I'm in LA, man.
Yeah, so what's that like, man? What's the weather like, man?
Ah,
I'm up to my
oh,
ass
the
in
weather,
snow up here,
the
man.
the weather is great. I've been fortunate living here to not have to experience any real winter.
Okay.
I think the coolest it's been here since I've lived here is maybe the low 60s. But no snow.
Mm.
And like Tony said, it doesn't rain in Southern California. So nah, it's been good, man. Now LA is dope. It's just unfortunate, you know, dealing with this pandemic.
Yeah.
It kind of limits you in regards to life, and I truly think Los Angeles is one of the most difficult cities to live in during the pandemic when everything is shut down.
Right.
Because LA is like New York, where the city has a life of its own. But if you shut the city down, you kind of take the life out of the city.
Right.
But nah, I
How is that affecting production on TV and movies and shit, man?
oh,
I'm sure it
big
has.
time. It's set us back about a year.
Right.
So with things starting to reopen recently, is how I'm able to kind of start steamrolling some stuff, because we've been stagnant. This is what, February.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been stagnant for about a year.
Yeah. We coming up on a year of this pandemic, man.
Yes, yeah, we've been
March.
stagnant for about a year. So I'm looking forward to being able to really get back out and go back and film and write some other things and really get the ball rolling, because yeah, this pandemic is, it's not playing no games.
Yeah. No doubt, man. Well, listen, Walt, baby love, man. It's been a pleasure having you on, man.
My
And
man.
like I was telling you earlier, I believe in giving people their flowers, man, and giving people a platform that they can come and promote their stuff, man, and introduce the world to what they got going on, man. So
Appreciate that.
you know, me and you go back, you know what I'm saying?
Always.
Shout out to
Always.
Morgan State, you know what I'm saying? We
Yes,
always be
sir.
Morgan State family, my brother.
No doubt.
But once again, let the people know, how they can find you, your IGs and your social medias and all of that.
So you can find me on Instagram, Walter, WALTER _ Fredericks, FREDERICKS. All of my social media feeds are linked to my IG, Twitter, Facebook. So if you can find me on IG, you'll be able to find me anywhere. Go to the website, www.aftertheleague.net, NET. My bio is on there. The online store for the gear. A couple of clips from some projects that I'm working on. Also a comment box, man. Leave some comments. I can connect with you on there. I can connect with you on any of my social media platforms. Just holler at your boy.
No doubt, man. And I want to thank all my followers and my subscribers. I want to thank everybody who watched tonight, man. Continue to follow the Oddkast podcast and continue to check for whatever my brother Walt got coming down the pipeline, man. After the league, man, I'm excited, man. I'm definitely going to be checking for that, my brother. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
man. So Gary Gnu, man. Oddkast Podcast. Yo, we signing off, y'all.
My man.
Peace. Good looking out, Walt.
Oh, no doubt. Appreciate you having me.
No doubt, baby. Be safe out there, bro.
Absolutely. We'll talk.
All right, man. One.